baby girl, you shine. And we gon' do it big.
What's up, y'all? It's Caitlin Legge, your favorite journalist, digital media, washed athlete, all the things girly. Okay, I'm speeding through this because I'm running late, but this is just a little frequently asked questions as a journalist. I am actually about to be on my way to work, but I had to do my face anyway, so I figured I'd yap with y'all. So we're just gonna go through some of the basics. Number one question I get about being a journalist actually has nothing to do with journalism. Surprise, shocker there. The first question I definitely get is always, who does our makeup? You know, for reporters, anchors. Now this question, like, I get the question or whatever, but it's a question that varies on your market size and your role. So as a MMJ and market 167, babe, I do my makeup, and that's going to be the case in most places. The budget is just not there to have makeup artists doing everybody makeup. But when you are an anchor at like an O&O or a larger station in a top market, as in like top 10, which like typically goes based off of like city size, so your New Yorks, your, you know, DCs, that is where you may find makeup artists, but that again typically exists more so for anchors and for network stations, so the CNNs, the NBCs, the, you know, those, and the ABCs, the Fox Newses, all of the above, the actual network stations, the affiliates, which is what the rest of most of us are. That budget isn't really there for that. And a lot of times too, you know, people prefer to do their own makeup anyways. Yeah. So to answer your question, I do my makeup. Cool. Another question I get is, you know, how are we able to, you know, get up on camera and talk in front of all these different people? And you know, it's one of the main reasons that people are nervous when they do interviews, because they see the camera. But honestly and truly, a lot of the times, especially for me as an MMJ, I do a lot of my own shooting. So I'm behind the camera, in front of the camera, I'm writing the script, I'm editing everything. So it's really just me. Like, it's me and the camera. Like, it's not a scary thing. It doesn't feel crazy. Like, it literally just feels like I'm talking to myself. And what Lil Wayne say, I'm talking to myself because I am my own consultant. Thank you. Yeah, so it really doesn't feel like anything too wild. This is also Serena Williams' line, y'all, and we gonna really put it to the test today because I'm covering football, so that's gonna let us know something. And I'm gonna have his face on all day. So yeah. Along with that, another frequently asked question that I get is news fake? And this one is a twofold question. So I do acknowledge that fake news is a thing, and that's not to, you know, say that it isn't, but it's really kind of insulting sometimes when people ask this question of a local journalist, because we do so much dolo. Like, we are literally working every single day to tell stories. We find our own stories, we find our own sources. Like, we're doing all of this stuff a lot of times on our own. And so when people, you know, insinuate that news is fake, and I know that there are going to be those people that, you know, don't trust the media, different things, you know, in general. I get it. And that's, again, like, that's not to say propaganda is a thing. These things do exist, but for a lot of local journalists, like, we put in so much work and effort to tell stories in the community. So for people to like continually question us, which I think is good, like question everything, yes, but to just insinuate that the journalism is fake, it's just like, oh child, like, jeez Louise, like, you don't know what I went through to get this story. Yeah, and like, you got to think about it, like the actual purpose of news, like, in in its like simplicity, is literally to tell the public what is new. Like, it is to inform the public of what is going on. So when people are hesitant and skeptical to believe in news, like solely just because, like not based on anything other than just because they can, it's just like it gets a little exhausting. But at the same time, you know, like I said, question everything. So it's just one of those trifold questions. News, a lot of your local journalists are not going to be dispelling fake news. I would hope, you know, per the area. For me personally, no, my news is not fake. Yeah. And the things, a lot of these things that we are reporting on are readily available for the public, but sometimes they're difficult to either understand or to find. So like what we're doing is quite literally like making it more accessible. And so just keep that in mind, you know, the next time you're gonna question your local journalist. Same thing goes with that, is like, how do we find our stories? We literally go and dig for all of our stories. We, as in like the journalists, the assignment editors. Ooh, my foundation. I'm glad that was on my robe and not my shirt. But like, we go and find all of that. So every single day we tell a different story. This is not like TV in a sense of like, oh, we're working on the same story for weeks. That's your investigative journalism. No, this is like, we tell a different story every single day, and we go and hunt for it and search for it each day. Lord Jesus, we search for our sources, we do our research, like all of these different things happens every single day. So it's all us. Like, journalism is not a field that you get in just to do it. You get in it because you love it. And I do. I love what I do. But I say that to say, like, it's not, you know, it's not a field to take haphazardly. It's not a field to just jump into, like, just to jump into it. And that's also like, I take my job seriously. Because I understand the power of, you know, misinformation and and disseminating incorrect information. So it is a sometimes a thankless job, and a job that will have you working tirelessly, and that is okay because you love what you do. And that's why we do it. I will say, like, I am blessed to say in that sense. I know a lot of people work in fields where they don't love what they do, and I am super grateful that I am afforded the opportunity to do that. What's another question I get? Oh, my locks. That is a big one. I get a question about my locks all the time. And not necessarily from viewers, but just from people, you know, that know me, like, oh, how, especially being in like a more rural area, you know, I get questions about how people react to my locks. And honestly and truly, I have not had a bad reaction, or honestly any really real reaction to my hair. Like, I don't really get to see a lot of comments in general on the stories, just because, like, literally by the time the story is done, I'm working on the next story. So I haven't seen anything negative, I will say. But at the same time, like, you know, I know when my hair looking crazy, I know when I need a retwist. So to have locks in this rural area, I asked my news director, you know, before I even got out here, like, hey, how is the like public gonna respond to, you know, me essentially? And he was like, I think it's fine. And I was like, period. And like I said, I have not had any complaints thus far. I will say though, I have been, you know, struggling on this journey with my hair, to love my hair, to, you know, be comfortable with it, especially in news. Like, sometimes, you know, I want to give the feminine baddie bust down look, especially in a sense of like a lot of other news girlies give that. But I am on this journey with my hair, and y'all are on this journey with me, so we gonna figure it out. I actually just had a talk with my loctician, and she was just talking about some of the things that we can do to, like, you know, make it last a little longer, make the retwist last longer, make me just feel more comfortable about my hair. So it's just one of those things that I'm like constantly working through. Ooh, I thought this was brown. This is black. She gone. Okay, I gotta get out of here for real. Yeah, but so far so good, no issues with my hair. I know it is not super traditional, you know, to be in this field and to be having locks, so I'm grateful for the experience that I've had thus far. But yeah, we shall see as she goes. Other questions that I get, sorry, I didn't really write down a list because like I said, I'm like in a rush, and I'm just kind of going off of the top stuff that I get, but I feel like that's some of like the biggest stuff. I think that every market is different. You will have different, like I might have this experience here, but you know, other journalists may have different experiences in other places and other markets. Like it's truly dependent on where you are. So far I've had a great experience here in Texas. That little lip combo just, she gone, she do it for me every time. But yeah, like just some of the like basics of being a journalist, those are things that I get everywhere. Oh, I also get questions about like, oh, are you like famous? No, babe, I'm not famous. I'm a regular gal. I will say, like, I guess now I'm considered a public figure, so like I do get stopped in public. You know, people will be like, hey, I know you, and so that's always really great to get to meet, you know, more of the community and to really get to connect. So that's cool, but by no means a celebrity, babe. Okay, that check is regular, just like y'all. I clock in like everybody else. Thank ya. Yeah, but I feel like that's some of the basics of the questions I get asked. If y'all have more questions, you know, let me know. Drop a comment, like, subscribe, you know, let me know how you feel. And yeah, love you guys.
Just like a star. 'Cause baby girl, you shine. Just like a star. And we gon' do it big.